Good evening, my friends. This is Frank Saliki, and this is Thursday Night Motivation with Frank Saliki, live on TV Bakwetu. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful week in everything that you are doing this week. I hope your week is productive. If you're just able to tell me where you are joining me this evening, I got Henry Muchimba, who's joining in from Dundumwezi, Kalomo, Zambia. Good evening. I got Chanda Wellington. Good evening. And welcome to TV Bakwetu. Kalambe the third, good evening. Welcome to TV Bakwetu. And Oscar Chansa, welcome to TV Bakwetu. This is Thursday Night Motivation, and it's time we just take a moment to reflect on the things that we can do, the things that we can do in our lives You know, there's so many things we can do as human beings, but so often we never get to experience the lives that we lead. We never get to experience the things that we can do with our lives. For me, that was the greatest discovery. The greatest discovery in my life was that I can do anything I want to do with my life. I can change my life. I can transform my life. I can do wonderful and amazing things with my life. And this discovery completely transformed my life. That it's not where I've come from that is going to determine my destiny, but it's what I do now that what will determine what I will have in the future. These are the things that I talk about. You know, so often we look in the world and we try to find excuses of why things are not working out. We never look inward. We never look at what we're contributing to be where we are right now. So these are the things that I'm constantly looking at. How can I transform my life? What actions can I take to make my life better? So this evening, the topic is decision. Decisions are so important. We make decisions every day. When we woke up this morning, we made a few decisions. Some people, the first decision they made was to snooze their alarm. That was the first decision they made. And some of the decisions people made this morning was what were they going to wear this morning? One of the decisions that I had to make this morning is, shall I wear a tie or shall I go with my shirt open? So we're constantly making decisions on a daily basis. But I can tell you that your life begins to change, will only change the moment you make a decision to change it. I talk to so many people and I coach so many people. Some people offered me a lot of money to coach them, and I've had a conversation on the first day and I've decided I'm not going to coach them because they really have not made a decision to change. The moment somebody makes a decision to change their life, to change anything, everything changes. The moment a man goes, you know what, I'm not going to spend all my salary on beer anymore. I'm going to spend it on my family. Their life changes. The moment you say a struggling student says, you know what, I don't want to struggle anymore. I'm going to spend a lot more time studying instead of going out and partying with my friends. Instantaneously, their life changes. So many of us, our lives don't change or we don't see the results that we hope for simply because we have not made that decision to transform our lives. We've not made a decision to change. The people who make a decision to change, they do whatever it takes to achieve the things that they want to achieve. When you make a decision to transform your life, you don't look to other people for permission. You don't look at what other people are saying. You don't look at what other people are doing. You look at what actions you can take. You know, in life, it's so easy to focus on what other people are doing. It's so easy to focus on what other people will say about the things that we're doing, and so much so we give up. When I turn up here every Thursday, it's not everybody who says, you know what, oh, good, Frank is doing motivation. For some people, it's the most useless topic on TV Wakwetu, because that's what they think. But I've decided this is what I'm doing. I've decided this is what I'm going to be doing. So even though other people out there say things like this is not the greatest thing I want to see, but I've made a decision. This is what I am going to do. And this evening, I want to emphasize this to you. What are you deciding to do with your life? What are you deciding today to do with your life? What I've learned in truth is when we make a decision to do something, we're going to go out there and do it. If we make a decision not to do something, we don't do it, even though we may have opportunities. I'll give you an example. Two people I know. One person gets 2,000 kwacha. What do they go and do? Because their uncle abroad feels generous for them and sends them 2,000 kwacha. What do they go and do? They go and party. And they spend their money. Within a day or two, that money is finished. The second person gets the same amount of money from a relatives abroad. And they decide, you know what? I've got this little 2,000 kwacha. I'm going to start a little business. Same amount. Two different people make two completely different decisions. One decides, right, my uncle has kindly sent me this money, so I'm going to show off with my friends and I'm going to buy them as many things as I can. But the other one decides, right, this money that my uncle has kindly sent me, I'm going to set up a small business. Fast forward 3 months later, that man, the other man who wisely set up a business, has got a lot more money. He's got a lot more than 2,000 kwacha because he's invested that wisely. He's made a wise decision. The other person still wants another 2,000 kwacha from his uncle, who's kind of now just getting a little bit fed up because he sends him money and never does anything with it. It's decision. When we decide that, when we wake up and say, you know, I'm going to read 4 books a month. I read 4 books a month because I want to study the personal development industry. I want to know what goes on. I'm constantly reading. The books behind is not decorations. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly reading something new because I've made a decision to learn. I've made a decision to develop, because I've understood that knowledge is potential power. Notice I don't say knowledge is power. I'm not a believer that knowledge is power. So many people know what to do, but they never do what they know what to do about. So knowledge is potential power. That's why I keep learning. That's why I keep studying. That's why I keep developing myself on a consistent basis. And that's why I'm always reading something to do with my career every day, or to do with my motivation speaking, or to do with my writing, because I want to develop and grow. That's a decision I've made. So many people have made a decision that when they go to work, they're going to finish work. And when they finish work, they're going to sit in front of the telly and have a bottle of beer or something every night because they want to relax. That's a decision that I've made. But I've understood, but that if I have to grow and develop, I have to do something that is meaningful, something that is going to take my life to a new level. And this evening, I want to emphasize to you to make a powerful decision for your life. I want you to know, don't just look at circumstances. I want you to take responsibility. So many people's lives will never change simply because they never take responsibility for their lives. They never take responsibility for their actions. They're constantly looking at what other people are going to say. They're constantly trying to find an excuse of why something is ever going to work out. Now, if you're living your life trying to find an excuse of why something will never work out, guess what? You're never going to do it. So today, I want to encourage you to take responsibility of your life. It's the most wonderful decision that you are ever going to make. The most wonderful decision that is going to benefit you. After failing my high school exams, I made a decision. Okay, I made a decision that I was going to go to university, and whatever is going to happen then is going to be my responsibility. The responsibility to change my life, the responsibility to do better, to give more, that I was never going to give that responsibility to somebody else. I was going to wake up every single day and work on developing myself and work on changing my life. And I'm able to do the things that I do today because at one point in time, I reflected on my life and say, what can I do to transform my life? You know, so often we talk about the reasons why we failed, what happened to make us fail, but we never say, what can I do to turn my fortunes around? What can I do to transform my life? That's the most powerful question that you are ever going to ask yourself. If you look at yourself in a mirror and say, what can I do to completely transform my life? What can I do to change my life? What can I do to ensure that I'm getting the things that I want? Because I don't want to live life powerless. I don't want to feel like I've got no control. I don't know about you. I hate the feeling of not having control. So that's why I hate this feeling of putting blame on other people. My boss was not good. My teachers were not good. My parents were not that and the other. So many people have excuses. The moment you have excuses, you don't have a reason. Excuses stop you from doing something. When you've got an excuse, you're already saying, you know what, I've got an excuse of not doing this. I'm not doing this because. When you've got a reason, you get things done. When you get a reason to wake up and do something, you get things done. When you've got a reason and you've got a compelling decision, you get things done. It's when the Rosa Parks of this world say, I'm not going to give up a seat for a white man. A moment standing on a platform of oathness, Rosa Parks makes a decision to say this is not the way things are going to be. Immanuel Kant, in his book, The Critique of Pure Reasoning, says this. There's certain things that we know we ought to do as human beings. We know we ought to do this. And I emphasize to all the people who listen to me, I will emphasize this week in, week out. We were designed for accomplishment. We were engineered for success, and we're endowed with a seed of greatness. But so many of us are never going to see the greatness that they have in them simply because they never take action. A young man said to me the other day, I would like to be an author like you. So I said, well, if you make a decision to become an author, you're going to be one. That's not the answer that he was looking for. He was probably looking for me to tell him about all these other things that he can do with his life and how he can become an author and a 10-step plan of everything else. You know what? I didn't need a 10-step plan to become an author. I didn't need a 10-step plan to become a motivational speaker. I just made a decision to be what I wanted to be. And these are the things, my friends, that we have to live on each and every day. What decisions am I making for my life? For my life, what decisions am I making today? It's easy. The amount of people who tell me, you know what, I would like to do that and the other, but I just haven't got the resources to. People don't fail in life because of lack of resources. People fail in life because of lack of resourcefulness. People don't fail in life because of lack of resources. People fail in life because of lack of resourcefulness. Nothing can resist the will of a people that will stick even upon its own existence for good. When you make a decision, this quote was written by Benjamin Disraeli. Benjamin Disraeli, who became British Prime Minister at the time when Jews were not allowed out at 8 p.m. But this man had the will, and this man decided. If we look at our forefathers, we think of the late great Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Why did they do the things that they did? Decisions. We think of the Nelson Mandelas. Why did they do the things that they did? Decisions. We think of the Martin Luther King. Why did they do the things that they did? Decisions. And I want you to know that decisions dictate the actions that we're going to take. The moment you make a decision to do something, that is a moment your life changes. A few years ago, talking to a friend of mine, encouraging him to do something new, something powerful, something meaningful for their life. They never changed. They never changed. Why? Why did they not get the encouragement or the motivation or the advice? Because they had not made a decision. Listen, it did not matter if I spent 100 years speaking to them. If they never made a decision, their life will never change. It doesn't matter how much you listen to me. If you don't make a decision to change your life doesn't change. It doesn't matter how many help self-book you read, you don't make a decision, your life doesn't change. It doesn't matter how many people around you support you, you don't make a decision to change your life doesn't change. Why is it? Why is it that some people who've got rich families end up being poor when they're older, when they had all the resources? Because they never made a decision to maximize those resources. So you get people in life who seem not to have a lot of resources, but the way they use that resourcefulness completely transforms their life. It changes their lives. But there are other people who have all the resources and they don't use those resources to benefit themselves, and that destroys their life. That destroys their life. So it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness that holds people back. The lack of resourcefulness in making decisions of what they want in their lives. This brings me to the favorite topic of mine, goals. Okay, goals. You can't make a decision if you haven't got a goal in your life. It all begins with having a goal. If I ask you today, right now, just ponder this. You don't have to write it in the comment or anything. Just I want you to just ponder. This is just for your own. That's just for your own mind. Nobody needs to know. I don't need to know. But just think for a moment. When you woke up this morning, did you have a goal of what you need to achieve? When you woke up this morning, did you have a goal in mind? Did you wake up and say, this is what I need to achieve today? Or did you just wake up and went away and did everything that you did on that particular basis? To be honest, so many people get out of bed that way. So many people are used to waking out of bed that way. They've never made a powerful, compelling decision for their lives. They just wake up and they do the things that they're doing on that particular day without realizing that until they do something powerful, until they do something meaningful, until they do something different, their life will never going to change. Okay? Until they do something different, their lives will not change. So, what can we do to transform our lives? What can we do to improve our lives? What can we do to make sure that our lives are better? I want us to decide. It sounds so simple. It sounds so simple when you think about it. It decides, I think it's everything is a decision. I always say for who I am and what I am, I owe it to my mother. I'm sat here making this video, and I know I'm here because of decisions that my mother made in the past. My mom made a decision together with so many Zambian nurses, and I can tell you, it's not the easiest of decisions where somebody in their 40s, their 50s packs up everything that they worked for and leave their homelands to go to a foreign land. Not the easiest of things. But our mothers, our fathers made this decision to leave everything behind, to leave everything that they know, to come over here so that we can have these opportunities. It comes down to decisions. And then what they did then would not have mattered anyway. For every sacrifice that my mother made, if I had not made that decision after failing my high school exams that I was going to go to university, nothing would have happened. I would never have been doing the things that I'm doing today if I did not make that decision. Everything that we have, we got a decision. We make decisions every day. We make a decision. We make decisions to buy shawarma or to buy Hungry Lion or to save money. We make decisions every day. We make decisions. I'm going to buy a takeaway, or I'm just going to eat food when I get home. We're making constant decisions, and those small decisions have an impact. Those small decisions have an impact. I've got a friend of mine who always used to buy takeaway every day, but he always used to run out of money. And he talked about trying to find a job that pays a bit more money. Then we sat down and looked at his spending habits. What we discovered was that what he got paid was enough, but he needed to change his spending habits. And that's a decision that he has to make. So when it comes to making decisions to transform your life, you have to make sure that you're making decisions in the right areas. Because for example, he could have got a job that pays a bit more money if he had not made a decision to change his spending habits. He still would have just been spending a lot more. Put it this way, somebody's got a terrible spending habit. If they get 1,000 kwacha, they got a terrible spending habit. They spend that, in end of the month, it's gone. You give them 2,000, they'll spend that at the end of the month, it's gone. And I can bet you, if you give them 10,000 kwacha, they will find something to spend. And at the end of the month, it will all be gone because they will just be spending on anything. So it's decisions that we make, financial decisions, the decision that we make on a consistent basis, relationship decisions. Do you take time to go home? Do you go home, or do you go out clubbing, or do you go out partying? Decision that we make. Since our little boy was born, for me, I finish work and I come back, and it's time for me to have time with my little boy. That's decision. For me, I feel that's a powerful decision I can make as a father. But people make decisions every day. People make decisions not to see their children grow. So decisions are so important in everything that we do. And you look at your life, you're going to find that your life is full of, it's got a trail of decisions that you've made. It's got a trail of decision that you've made. You might blame circumstance. You might blame the economy. You might blame the government. Yes, let's not ignore those elements. But there are certain things that we play. It was Elle Nightingale. There's certain roles that we play. It was Elle Nightingale who said, "We're all self-made, but only the successful will admit it." And you know what? People who are successful will tell you about the action they have taken, the thing they have done to get them to where they are. But so many people are not successful will tell you what terrible things happened to make them to be where they are. They take themselves out of the equation. They're not responsible. Responsibility does not mean if somebody did something terrible to you in the past, taking responsibility of your life doesn't mean you're taking responsibility for that person's actions. What that means is you're taking responsibility of the things that you're going to do with your life. That means you're taking responsibility of where you are going to go. That means you're taking responsibility of what you want to achieve. That means you're taking responsibility of the things that you want. That means you're saying, this is what I want with my life, and this is what I'm going to go out there and do. For me, I always think life is a river of opportunities, and some people go to that river of opportunities with a small teaspoon, and some people go to that river of opportunity with a barrel, and they get as much as they want. The one thing that you do not want to do is go through life not realizing what you can do, what you can be, what you can achieve. So often we focus so much on what other people say about us. We focus so much on what other people have or the talents that they have that we never get to discover the talents that we have. We never get to discover the talents that you have, the talents that so many people have. I see so many talented people go through life without ever seeing what they can be, without ever realizing what they can be, without ever realizing that they can achieve wonderful, meaningful, amazing things in their lives. So many people who go to jobs that they hate because they think they just have to pay their bills. Who sold us this? Who sold us this? My friends, success does not come easy. There's no such thing as overnight success. Scrap that. There's no such thing as overnight success. What you and me have to realize is if we're going to achieve great things with our lives, we have to make decisions to take action. And some actions are going to take a long time for us to see any form of results. But if you're looking for overnight success without doing anything for years, you're never going to see that. You're never going to see that meaningful change that you want. You're never going to see the transformation in your body that you've always prayed for. You're never going to see all those things that you think should happen in your life come to fruition. Because overnight success is simply not a thing. Let's scrap that. Overnight success is simply not a thing. You want to change your life. Don't try and reap now. So many people think they have to reap, then they sow. You have to sow, then reap. You have to make a decision to start sowing. You have to make a decision to start planting. You have to make a decision to start going to to the field. You have to make a decision. You want to reap. Why would you go to the field in hoping that there's going to be there's going to be some maize when you have not planted some maize? You want maize, plant maize. You want sweet potatoes, plant sweet potatoes. You want cassava, plant cassava. You want success, guess what? Plant success. Make a decision to plan success. It absolutely frustrating. It really frustrating when you see so many people trying to be successful without planting success. It's like me waking up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. How long have you been speaking? I've never spoken before, but I think I can do it now. It's not going to happen. Now I can speak wherever I am, wherever I go, because I've been doing it on a consistent basis over the last 7 years. Over the last 7 years, I've been doing it on a consistent basis. And I'm able to speak like I'm speaking right now. I'm able to speak in front of senior managers. I'm able to speak at different organizations because I've been doing it on a consistent basis. And I'm not trying to brag. What I'm trying to say to you is you don't have to be great to get started. You have to get started to become great. You have to make a decision to say, this is what I'm going to do. And this are the action that I'm going to take. I used to spend time when I used to just make videos of me speaking without posting them anywhere. I remember when I used to post videos on Facebook when they were not good. I remember watching a video I made a few years ago. I think it's one of my first motivational video I ever made. And me and my wife had a laugh because I remember my first reaction was that was terrible. That was terrible. That was where I was. That was a starting point. That was a starting point. I hear so many people say, you know, I would like to do that, but I'm not good enough. Well, if you do not take action on it, you're never going to be good at it. Nobody becomes great at not doing something. The only way that you become great at anything is by taking action on that thing. Oh no, but you know, I don't think I can be. I'll be good enough. Guess what? If you don't do it, you're never going to be good enough. If you make a decision of what you're going to do, you're going to achieve it. I want you to think. I want to ponder this while you think about. I'm not very good enough. A friend of mine, 4 kids. She's got 4 children. A husband is on his way to work. Dies in a car accident. All of a sudden, she's got 4 hungry mouths to feed. She hasn't got a job. Her husband is dead. She's got a decision to make. I'm going to make everyone feel sorry for me, trying to beg off people. Or I'm going to go back to school. And while I'm at school, in the day, I'm going to be working. In those times, I'm going to be working and trying to earn a living for my children. For 3 years, she started while she worked. She graduates, gets a wonderful job. She's now a senior manager, and everybody talks about how lucky she is. How lucky she is. That's how people say. They look at her and say, wow, she's very lucky. Lucky. The pain that she had to go through, the tiredness, the day she didn't have time off because she had 2 jobs. She goes to work, takes her children to school, does her job, goes back, collects the children from school, does the second job, then goes to university in the evening, studies, comes back, puts the children to bed, stays up to 2 o'clock in the morning to study and revise for exam, and somebody turns around and says she was lucky. No, my friends, she made a decision of the life that she wanted to give her children. She made a decision of the life that her and her children were going to have, and that's the life that they have today because she made a decision. And people say she's lucky. No, she's not lucky. She's determined and she is ambitious, and she got the things that she has because one day she made a decision to say, this is a life that me and my children are going to have. And my friends, I want you to wake up every single day. Be decision makers in everything that you do. Be a decision. Decide what your life is going to look like. Decide what you're going to achieve. Decide where you want to take your life. Decide how wonderful you want your life to be. I want you to really feel this in you. Where you've come from does not really matter. What matters is where you're going. You know, you can't change yesterday, but you can change the future by taking actions today. It doesn't matter what you're going through. I want you to know this. Whatever you're going through, it does not come to stay. It has come to pass. Listen, I was just once an outcast. I was a kid who would never fit in anywhere. I was bullied from day one of primary school. It didn't look like I was going to be doing anything great with my life. But one day I had the vision. One day I had the vision that I can go to university and I can transform my life. And on that day, I made a decision. I was going to do wonderful things with my life. And that decision has taken me to places that I could never have dreamt of. I've spoken in front of so many people. I've helped so many people transform their lives. I was just like you. I was just like so many people out there who never believed they're good enough. I was like so many people who looked in the mirror and they did not see greatness until I realized one day that I don't have to be great to get started. I have to get started to become great. I want us to know that success is not just for the few. And I worry for the young Zambian people when I look at the people that they watch on social media, not mentioning names. These are the people becoming the role models of our people. That you have to do something on social media, you have to do something silly, you have to do something controversial. My friends, I want us to know that we can build a great nation. I want us to know that we can build a great future for ourselves. I want us to know that we can have a great life. I want us to know that we can bring our dreams to fruition. I want us to know that whatever we are going through should never ever dictate what we can do. We can change our lives by making a decision today. We can change our lives by doing something meaningful, something powerful with our lives. I want us to know, my friend, that we all got something special in us. We all got a talent that's been given to us. We all got a special talent. But what's wonderful is we can use that talent to transform our lives for the better. These are the things that we have to focus on. I could not be where I am today if it was not for the power of decisions. I could not be doing the things that I'm doing today if I did not make the decisions that I made as a 15-year-old, as a 16-year-old. It all comes down to decision. What decisions are we making? What decisions have you made this week? Have you made powerful decisions? Have you made decisions that are going to transform your life? Are they going to hold you back? These are the things that we have to constantly think about on a daily basis. We never really know as human beings what we're good at. We never really know how talented we are. And I come here every Thursday just to encourage you to be the best that you can, to be the person that you are created to be. God made you with a talent. God made you with a gift. In conclusion, we are all designed for accomplishment. We are all engineered for success. But so many of us never get to see that greatness because we never have not reached the point of making a decision to see what we can do with our life, to see where our talents can take us. I want to encourage you to really explore where your talent can take you, to explore how wonderful your life could be if you only made that decision to transform your life. You can change your life at any time that you want. The decision is yours. If you want to go to school, if you want to study, if you want to know an industry, you can visit a library, start studying a new subject. We're living in a time of the internet where you can find information everywhere. When we carry our smartphones, we carry with us a moving library. But so many times we spend our time scrolling through social media looking at what local celebrities are doing instead of Googling something that we're interested in. To see what we can find and to see where we can take our lives. If you make a decision to say, I can achieve something wonderful, I can achieve something special, Nothing is ever going to stop you from achieving those things. It all comes down to what we make up our minds to. We've read about so many men and women in history who made a decision to change something, even though they have faced obstacles. They've gone ahead and changed that thing. They've gone ahead and achieved those things against all odds. They're not special human beings. They're not different from you and me. They have just made a decision. Let us go out there to make a decision that's going to be powerful for you. A decision that's going to be empowering to your life. A decision that's going to be empowering to our community. When we look around us and we see things that needs changing, I want us to think, well, how can I contribute to this change? The change to my community, the change to my country, the change to my life. How can I ensure that 10 years from now, I'm doing the job that I love? Make a decision today. You're designed for accomplishment. You were engineered for success. You were endowed with the seed of greatness. I'm just a humble boy from Loansha who feels really blessed to be where he is today. And I want so many people back home to understand that they can really transform their lives for the better. You are born to win. God bless you. God bless our country. God bless your dream. Goodbye from me.